Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Max Payne 3 on old school difficulty. This is chapter 3, and we're doing this without healing. So one thing I do need to address right away is that I did have the golden gun effects turned on. Not that I turned them on, but they're on by default. So the golden gun effects, from what I've read, they give you a 10% damage boost for the weapons that you've collected all the parts for, and an extended clip. And I didn't even realize that I was getting advantages. I was noticing some ease of use, like killing these enemies a little bit more quickly, but I thought it was in response to the alterations that I made with the graphics, like the detail level and just the guns not filling in all the way with the detail. It's stupid, but that's literally what I was thinking. So I've turned it off. And there was a couple of parts in the last chapter where I had it on. Trust me, I know it sounds idiotic, but I never assumed that they would have that on by default. So in this room, make sure you examine that picture of the Broncos. And then the second clue in this chapter is the door that these guys ran through. The bloodstained door right there. So that's the item of interest that I wanted to talk about. And then this next section, bear in mind always that you can kill your teammates if you're not. Well, what teammates is there? Well, sometimes there's Passos, and then on the other occasion there's the sister of the woman who was kidnapped. I don't remember her name. But you can kill them accidentally, so watch out for that. See this? I had the golden gun on right here. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I don't ever like to give myself those advantages. So obviously it's pretty obvious. The fucking gun is orange. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, it's fucking, well, it's kind of orange. It's fucking gold, though. You know what I'm talking about. Jesus Christ. Life's a learning process. Anyway, so some people were expressing disappointment when I informed them that my Ascension guide had to be deleted. And trust me, I felt very bad about it, but you know, if something can't be finished, I delete it, and I don't leave anything unfinished. So that's my third failure of this channel since I started. The first one being, which one was the first? What was my first failure? My first failure was Vanquish on Godhard. Failure number 2 was God of War 2, no upgrade run plus. Failure number 3, Trial of Archimedes on Payne plus. Anyway, the failures that one thinks of, I just have to think about it in the most positive way possible, because otherwise it reduces everything that I did to a triviality, and I don't like that, because I had made 28 videos, and you guys probably saw only 10 of those 28 videos. Well, 27, I should say. And I had a lot of good videos. I had some really good strategies for the Shoulder of Apollo. If you don't know what that fight is, it's a fight that occurs fairly close to the Trial of Archimedes with just a ton of enemies. 3 of the Juggernauts. And it's just, you know, it's a great fight. It's hard as shit, too. And that I can never share that with anybody because I couldn't beat the Trial of Archimedes. Everything has to get deleted. That's just how I have to have things. So the next clue is on this column right here. And there's only 4 clues on this chapter. So, you know, I try my best. I did see somebody was able to do the Trial of Archimedes on Payne Plus, and the main reason is, even though they fixed it, quote unquote fixed it with a patch, you can't patch out the enemies that you put in that game. I mean, maybe you could, but the sirens, they're completely overpowered, and you can't pacify them in any way. The Gorgons are essentially mini bosses. You cannot launch them, and it just makes for just a big pile of misery. In my case, it was a week of misery because I was trying to do it for a week. I don't just start to do things and then just stop, you know, after a couple of tries. The Shoulder of Apollo that I did, it took me about 6 hours to finally do that, and I was really sad. I was really happy. Just you know, I had almost done it. Got to the trial. It's just too much. It's too much of just making little chipping away at everybody for just way too long, and it's just a torture chamber. But anyway, when you go through the open gate here, you will trigger a checkpoint, but you're not going to see me walk through the gate. You'll see some damage on my person instantly. That's just because I went through the gate and then went back, and you take some damage per force. But this actually is really hard. I remember doing this on hard. It was a few days ago. And sometimes you just have to kind of get in these guys' face. And I haven't found out, because sometimes you fail those, and I haven't found out. Maybe it's because how much blood you have, how much damage you have. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's just a luck variable. But you usually seem to have the upper hand on those. So you're gonna get, if you're gonna have a couple of guys rushing you, a couple of guys throwing bombs, the guys with the grenades in this game really aren't so bad. You know, most of the time people are not throwing grenades at you, which is really nice. And you can dual wield in this game, but when you do that, you will drop the shotgun because he doesn't have anywhere to place the shotgun or assault rifle or whatnot. And I'm just not a dual wielder, to be honest. But just always make sure that you avail yourself of that bullet time. It does very slowly fill during idle times, as well as I believe it fills more quickly if you get headshots. So I also did discover that if you allow yourself to get killed, if you have damage, this is very important right here. There's going to be two guys up here. They're spawned, just not aggro. They'll aggro once you put them in your line of sight. So make sure that you keep your body to the right of the reticle and just very slowly come up here. See, even with the golden gun off, it still just takes one shot. It's not even that bad. These enemies really aren't bullet sponges until they get like body armor and the flak vests. What I was talking about though is if you have damage on your person and you allow yourself to get killed, you do get a heal. So that does contradict what I said about no healing on this run, but it's one of those things where I can't do anything about it. And I have found a somewhat temporary fix to prevent the game from crashing if I minimize the screen and exit out of it. Yeah, there's some... Sometimes you get into a bad camera perspective after that, after the sequence is there. And this is another one of those pretty long checkpoints. And in keeping with what they usually do, you'll have one or two enemies at the end. There's a rusher. You can always tell when you're going to have to possibly get out of cover and and bash them in the face. Like this. See? You're just going to get these rushers occasionally. Another one. Okay, so you're probably going to have a guy down there by the display case, so you want to take him out, and then that'll be the end of this first wave. And then when you come up to the theater area, you'll have another guy, excuse me, more than one guy actually, about 3 more guys. There's the first one. See, notice how I'm using the cover to move the camera. I'm going cover to move the camera, and exiting cover to give myself the advantage of staying behind cover and aiming at the enemies. This particular guy, I thought he went to the left, and he actually did. But there's 2 guys here to take care of. And I'm finding this really thrilling to play like this because death is around every proverbial corner here, and I do think this is definitely the way to play this game without using the healing items. Okay, so that is all of the enemies for now. I don't think I got the bullet time effect, the cinematic bullet time effect of killing the last guy, so I was a little bit wary of what was going on here, but I definitely knew that we're gonna have at least one son of a bitch popping out of this door here. So there he is. Just inch around the cover, take him down, and then after that, if you haven't got this clue here, you want it to examine the soccer player's memorial. And head to the elevator, and then we'll have another fight in the stadium. Okay, so this will be the next segment of the audio commentary, and I think I might have some live commentary at the end for you guys. And let's see, this fight here, this normally is pretty difficult. I mean, somebody was remarking on the comments that this game is very punishing until you start learning it, and it's very rewarding to start capitalizing on your skill level in this game, and I completely agree with that, because I'm just not struggling on this mode, even with the no painkillers. So I hope that changes, but it is still pretty early on in the game, and there are some bigger gauntlets coming up. But I've been having some problems with my Sony Vegas program, because when you install Windows 10, QuickTime no longer works. It's like, what the fuck is going on with that shit? QuickTime doesn't even work, so I had to find some way to delete the error message that I was getting. And there is a cutscene that I edited out in the transition right there, and we'll do a sniping section after this. But you've got to watch out. There's a couple more guys here, and I don't think they give you a checkpoint. In fact, I can almost guarantee it. Sometimes this game is really merciful with the checkpoints. Sometimes they're just downright cruel with them. Like, you have to do the entire thing over if you die over here. There's 2 enemies. And sometimes flying in the air is the safest thing, but I wanted to say that I was analyzing my hard disk base, and I had almost reached 500 gigabytes. I have a 2 terabyte hard drive, and it was like 449 gigabytes, and I was thinking to myself, what's taking up all this fucking space? And it turns out that it was all the Sony Vegas temporary files, like 300 gigabytes worth. So I cleared 300 gigabytes worth of data out of my hard drive. It's ridiculous. Okay guys, this will be the final session for the commentary, and you are going to have to defend Pastos here a few times. The field of view is limited because you're looking in through the events with the sniper rifle scope. So the live commentary that I was alluding to before, I had all of the sessions done and everything recorded with Fraps. However, the big problem was the voice recorder from Windows 10 in the background. It paused because if you minimize it while you're running other software, it thinks you don't want to use it good enough, so it doesn't let you use it. So I'm just kind of sick of it. I'm sick of the whole Windows 10 thing. Everything's fine. I'm not going to remove Windows 10, but you know, I'm so sick of all the little changes they made to ease of use. I'm really sick of it. So anyway, I just don't want to harp on that too much. And I wanted to mention that this guide is both a celebration and, like the Gears of War 2 Insane guy, it's also an elegy for just the absence of third-person games these days. I mean, I know I keep saying that, but there are third-person games. The third-person genre is never going to go away. I'm just talking about, like, I guess it's just third-person closed world. Maybe that is, you know, just third-person closed world action. That's just what I like. And the irony is that there's like 3 games that are in third person, one of which is The Devil's Third that I read the review for yesterday on Kotaku, and it got a lousy review. And then I looked on YouTube, and There's a ton. There's already walkthroughs of it, and the game looks so bland. You know, if something, I don't care if Itagaki made it. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know who was. If he was the game director, he's not going to get a pass from me just because he made Ninja Gaiden 2. If the game looks like garbage, it really does. Uninspired, bland, boring, unresponsive, just easy, just garbage. I mean, the character looks stupid. You know, I'm not just saying, like, it's not just the character that looks stupid. It's just the combat. It's actually third-person perspective for the melee combat, but it is actually first-person shooting. So that makes me kind of uncomfortable. But I'm not. There's no way in hell I'm gonna get a Wii U. The Wii U is. I would never get that. There's no reason to have one. If it came on PC, I might pick it up for $5, but I understand them. I know the multiplayer is on. You can get it on Steam, but anyway, I really want to play the Gears of War remake. I'm really envious of anybody who has that. But this is the final checkpoint here. So it's checkpoint 16 of 16, and there's 2 guys to dispatch right here, and the sniper will hit you if you linger down here. But if you're in forward motion here, you won't get hit. So watch as the sniper goes on my head. If you're just running, you're not going to get hit. So if you press left or right on the D-pad, you can actually move where the reticle is and put yourself in cover. So it's one of the best things you can do in one of these games. And I know it's really simple of a mechanic, and you know, people will say we already know that. It's one of the most obvious things in the world. But perhaps for people that don't play these types of games, that will be new. Okay, I didn't edit that out. I did edit the next ladder section out. So I'm sorry about that disjointedness. But yeah, this will be a celebration for 4,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can get 5,000 by the end of the year. It's just a very slow process. I'm not sure why. But I am extremely happy and grateful that everybody's here. And that's it for now. I mean, I think I need to talk about this next part though, because on these sections they do throw you to the dogs. When you first get on top of the ladder, they will. So there's just 2 guys right there, a final guy guarding the area where you need to go, and then you're just going to slide into the area where the sniper is. And there's actually a golden gun part over here. And if you press down on the D-pad, you can also I wouldn't really call it centering the camera, but it definitely, it's almost just like it. And the reason I don't think it is sometimes is because it's not a proper center sometimes. I can't describe it. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, guys. It's easily 100 degrees out here. It's not like I'm outside, but when my window's open, I was just outside, and it's a done deal. Take care.